Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, I shot it a little too early there. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Casual Conversations. Where we come to you for 15 minutes. We talk about a random topic because that's what the fuck we do. To my left, he's only the host with the most, Mr. Armoni himself, with the Kangol cap in tow. It's Mr. Peter Anderson.
As I live and breathe.
As you live and as you breathe.
And to my right, your left, he's only the host with the most. With the ponytail, with the ponytail in tap.
Wow. That was convincing.
I'm always joined with the best ponytail in the business.
It's fabulous.
It's Mr. Nicholas Days.
How's it going tonight, ladies and gentlemen? And today on Casual Conversations, Pete is going to teach me about fantasy football.
Really?
Yes. I want you to teach me what the hell fantasy football is all about and how it works.
Okay.
In 15 minutes.
Absolutely.
You're going to teach me in 15 minutes everything. I'm going to become an expert at fantasy football.
You're going to learn all about the PPR league.
Okay. What does that mean?
I don't even know. So let me take it down for a notch. So how fantasy football works is quite simple. Is before the season, you get to draft. If you have any questions, please let me know. You have to draft.
This whole episode is a question.
I know. You have to draft, and you can choose any players from any team. And you treat it like you're a football coach. So people you know would be like Tom Brady, example. Mm-hmm. And a receiver you may know would be, I talk about A.J. Green a lot.
Okay.
So I have Tom Brady and A.J. Green, for example. When Joe would have Drew Brees from the Saints and Odell Beckham from the Giants.
How does the draft process work?
So, depending on the league you can have 10, 12, 14 people. But mind you, the more people, the less prized possession of players you'll have. Because obviously some
people
players...
are going to pick stuff.
Yeah. Eli Manning will not perform as good as Tom Brady. Tom Brady's a much more valuable quarterback, so you want to take him earlier. So when the draft works is you'll have a random order. So this year I was first overall. So I had the first pick in the draft.
Okay.
So I could choose anybody I wanted.
Okay.
Well, we had a keeper, but I'll get into that in a second. So I went with Fournette, who's a rookie running back. Very good to begin, and he's been doing great for me. So then it would go to Joe, and Joe would choose this person, and it's a snake draft. So even though I'm number one, the next time I'll choose is I have to go through all 12 guys and then back again to get to me. So I'll choose one, and then I'll choose 24.
Okay. All
you
right.
know what I'm saying?
So there's 12 guys. So you choose the first one, and then it comes around to the last person, and then it comes back through them up to you again.
What happens is with the snake draft. So say you're number 12, you'll choose for who you want in your first round, and then you choose right again who you want in your second round. So what helps with the first round overall, you have the best player, but then when it finally gets back to you, you have the second round and third round again. But then you have to wait all the way around. Mm-hmm. And it's that, hey, it's great to have the first overall pick, but it's tough because, you might be better at having a 6th-round pick so you don't have to wait as much and you still get good players. Now, in our league that we're in is a keeper league. We keep 2 players every season.
Okay.
So this year I kept Tom Brady and Powell from the Jets running back. So I lost because Powell is ranked as a 10th round, I lose my 10th round pick.
Okay.
So when it comes to the 10th round, I drafted Powell. Even though he's more valuable, it's where I got him in the draft.
That's where you got him this year?
Last year in the draft.
Last year.
So Tom Brady, I got 4th last year in the draft. So when I kept him, I just lose my 4th round pick.
Okay.
So my 4th round pick is Tom Brady. So it's something where if you pick up a very hot free agent at the end and you get him as the last pick, which is the 17th pick, that would be gold. Like you get, say, for example, Odell Beckham a couple years back. Somebody got him in the last round. So now he cost him a last round pick. But if I keep Tom Brady again and he's worth a 1st round, then I lose my 1st round. So, for example, Fournette, who I picked up this year, was a 2nd or 3rd round player. By the end of the year, he's going to be a 1st round, without a doubt. So I'm going to lose my 1st round because I took him in the 1st round. So it's, okay, I'm getting this player, but nobody else can take him.
How do you keep him?
We put it in by August 25th. Joe runs it. So we have to say, okay, I'm keeping Brady Powell. I'm keeping AJ Green.
So it's based off of your last year pick where you
Yeah.
just go through it and you say, okay, I'm keeping this one and I'm keeping that one.
So like for this year, I'm probably going to be keeping. Fournette is a definite. I'm between AJ Green and Tom Brady.
Okay.
But it's all strategy. If I keep AJ Green, I lose the first 2 picks. Because they're 2 first-round picks. That's the other thing. If you have 2 first-round picks, obviously it's more enticing to pick them up because then it's, hey, my first and second are 2 legit first-round picks. So now how it works with point-wise is this. So here, I can't show you my team because I can't look at it because I'm very worried this week. I'm not undefeated anymore, Nick. I'm very upset.
Oh, poor thing.
So say I decide to play Tom Brady over Eli Manning. I'm just giving you an example. If Tom Brady goes fucking bonanzas, I get all those points.
Every point that he's
We'll
responsible for.
We'll get to
Okay.
that. So if he goes bonanzas, great, I get all those points. If I bench him and play Eli, and Eli has a terrible game and gets me 10 points, which is terrible for a quarterback, and Brady gets me 35, I don't get those 35 points that Tom Brady got because I benched him. I decided not to play him. So it's basically who has the better matchup. You'd be foolish not to play Tom Brady every week. I play him every week. I have a very good secondary quarterback in Derek Carr. Football fans will know. But I don't even play Derek Carr because I have him as bait. So if somebody in the season goes, hey, I want Derek Carr. Well, what do you want to offer me, Because I need Brady. Because what happens is when you have bye weeks, so you know how football has bye weeks, Brady's has a week 9 bye. So week 9, I can't play Brady because he's not going to get me any points.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have a game. How can he get me points if he doesn't have a game? So you bench him, but you'll put in another quarterback. So how it works with points is, in a PPR, is depending on some PPR leagues, you get it by catches, some you don't. Like, it depends. You get a point every 10 yards with wide receivers, or 30 yards every point for a quarterback. But what it breaks down to be is, say, Tom Brady, because it's the best example I can give, throws 300 yards. That's 10 points just in yardage, because it's 300 yards divided by 10. So,
Okay.
But divided by 30 is 10. Then every touchdown he throws is 4 points he gets.
Okay.
So if he throws 3 touchdowns, that's 12 points. So 12 plus the 300 yards, you're up to 22. Plus we do it by completions, and all this and that. So you say you end up with 25 points. Very respectable for a quarterback to get. Between 20 and 30 is the ideal for a quarterback because you get projections from each player. So it's like, hey, we favor AJ Green's matchup this week, but next week he might be a little bit more risky because he's facing a better defense.
Okay.
So you can lose points by a defense. If the defense sacks Brady, you lose points because he got taken back in yardage or he fumbled. You lose massive points. Same thing with wide receivers. Every 10 yards they get a point. So, for example, I have Gins. Saints player. Shout out to the New Orleans Saints.
So for receivers, is it the yardage that they run, or is it the total yardage including the throw?
Total yardage including the throw.
Including the throw. Okay.
For example, Gins today had 2 runs of 40 yards. So he gets 4 points, 10 yards, plus the catch, which is a little bit. So in total, because I was watching the Saints play, obviously, the only reason I played him is I had nobody else. So he got me about 15 points. Roughly, he's going to get me about 15 points, which he was projected for 7.
Okay.
Which is double what he was projected for. However, AJ Green, who's projected for 17th, not having such a good game, it looks like. So he might only get 10. So he's under projected. So what happens in the beginning of the week, or when the week comes up, is I'm facing Joe. He's projected to lose by 40 points. However, injuries and such had me now where I'm only beating him by 5 points because Fournette is injured, the number 1 running back. They're taking him 2 weeks off. So I had to bench him. So he's 15 points. I lose those 15 points, and I have to put in a backup running back that might only get 6 points. So right there, I'm losing out on that. So the receivers are catching, running backs is obviously runs. And with receivers and running backs, you get 6 points instead of 4. Brady throws for 4 points, but I have Brandon Cooks, who's also on the Patriots. So if Brady throws to Cooks, that's 4 points for Brady and 6 points for Cooks. So right there in that play, I get 10 points plus the yardage plus the completion. So it's nice to kind
And
of
if they
have
touchdown plus the touchdown.
It's nice to have that little.
Okay. You get touchdowns for each player. So like, let's say Brady throws to Cooks, right? And then
Brady will get the touchdown, so will Cooks, but others won't.
No, yeah. But those are the two players that were involved in that,
Yeah.
in that play. So therefore, those two players get those points.
But if Brady hands it off to the running back only gets the touchdown.
Brady doesn't get the touchdown because he's coming from behind the line of scrimmage. In order to, okay.
So if he threw it to the running back and the running back ran in, of course. But if Brady just hands it off and the running back runs up the line, he'll get the points, not Brady.
Okay.
So sometimes when you see them on the first yard line, they're obviously going to run it. So it's like, oh, Brady's not going to get me points here. Unless something happens where Brady does a sneak and throws it or runs in himself.
Yeah.
Now, if Brady runs in himself, he gets 6 points because he physically went into the end zone.
Okay. So he gets 6 points, period. Let's say, what if he runs it for, like, let's say 10 yards?
He'll get a point because he's running. So in that regard, he is treated as a running back.
So he doesn't get the throw, the points. Okay.
So then you have tight ends and a flex. Flex is basically because in our league you have quarterback, 3 wide receivers, 2 running backs, a tight end, and then a flex. A flex can be either an extra wide receiver, extra running back, extra tight end. In fantasy leagues, running backs are probably the most dominant because there's only 32 top tier running backs, and they're not even the top tier. Like Cleveland doesn't have the greatest running back, but it's still their number one. He's going to run. He's going to get you points. However, wide receivers, you have a little bit more leeway where, he's the number 1 receiver, but the number 2 receiver is right behind him.
Gotcha.
Example being in fantasy, Cooks is the number 1 receiver for Patriots. However, Hogan is right there next to him. Sometimes Hogan does better than Cook. Sometimes Cook does better than Hogan.
Gotcha.
It depends. Rounding out because we're coming on time.
Yep.
Then you have the kicker. So very simple with the kicker. You get an extra point. You get a point with the kicker. You get a field goal. You get 3 points.
Okay.
Defense, depending on how your defense plays. You obviously want the best defense, best matchup. This week, I have one of the best defenses in Kansas City. They shit the bed, so only got 2 points.
How do they work? Is it by sacks and tackles, or how does the points for the defense work?
Defense is basically like if you sack, you get extra points. But if for some reason the defense just can't hold the run and they're just blasting through the run, you lose points.
Okay. What if they intercept and reverse and stuff like that?
If the defense, you get points.
Okay.
So if anything that the defense does in the positive, you get points. Anything in the negative, you lose points. But you start with 15 points.
Are they treated like running backs, wide receivers, or a quarterback? Like if they intercept and they run it for miles, it's still 10 miles a point, or 10 yards a point.
Yeah.
Okay. Same thing, and then touchdown is the same amount of points and stuff like that. Okay.
Like if they return an interception, you get the points there.
Okay.
We also have a defensive player. So the defensive player, how he performs, obviously, if he gets a sack, interception, better for him. But defensive player is different from wide receiver, running back. Mm-hmm. Then there's bonus. Bonus is basically if Brady goes bananas and throws 300 yards and this and touchdown, then he'll get bonus. He'll get an extra 5 points just because he's performing spectacular.
Okay. Is there a benchmark for bonuses? Like your quarterback has to perform this much?
150 yards for running for
quarterback
receivers.
Okay.
200, I believe, running backs for us. Mm-hmm. Quarterbacks is over 300 yards.
Okay.
So if a running back goes over 200 yards,
you get bonus points.
If you get a receiver over 150 yards, bonus.
Okay.
So sometimes bonus can really depend. Like I said, bye weeks and injuries can really affect your fantasy lineup. Any other questions?
No, I think
that's just a broad thing.
Yeah, I think I kind of get it.
It's fun. It's like gambling. It really is because it's like, okay, I'm going to play this player, but I had a tight end that was very debatable. So in the end, I decided, you know what, fuck it, let me go in with him. But
ladies and gentlemen, if you learned everything that you need to know about fantasy football, we're happy. Let us know in the comments below if Pete missed anything, and if there's something that I need to know. As always, ladies and gentlemen, have casual conversations casually with people in public.